Okay, everybody, no big breaking news here, but it has been raining a lot lately. That is my, humble, meager way of explaining just how much rain has gone down. So let's go over to Teedson, where I know it's raining there too. And Landon Aydlett apparently trying his hand at zoology this morning. Landon, what do you got there?
It's been an interesting morning. I'm taking a walk around our property in the drainage pond that usually fills up in the most torrential rainfall, and almost stepped on top of this cane toad, I guess. It's a great time of the year for cane toads because we have a very vast abundance of rainfall. And so watch out if you're driving in the streets, especially off the main highway. There'll be a lot of frogs out there, especially at nighttime.
Yeah.
This is our drainage pond just outside of our office. And so it filled up pretty good this morning from the widespread rainfall across Guam. And you can see some of the faint signs of previous watermarks that go right around the drainage pond. So that would be in about ankle deep water right here. That watermark is right there. But right now the water's probably between 2 and 3 feet deep right there at the deepest point. And it sometimes can get upwards of 7 or 8 feet deep when we have a really good deluge. And that happens frequently here in the tropics, especially in the wet season. And this whole entire property will be underwater and then on into the street running down toward the new limestone monument that's just outside of our property. So this is our drainage pond, and it comes right off the tarmac. And so in the heaviest rainfall, this place just goes underwater. I've been paddleboarding in there. I think it was 2013 when we had that heavy rainfall that I spoke to you all about a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
This is all flooded. I went paddleboarding.
Well, Nestor Lecanto is like our resident golf enthusiast and everything, and I'm sure he would call that like a proper water hazard. That's a nice one.
Yeah, you'd have to get another ball if you.
Yeah. So while you make your way back to your desk and everything, like, and all this rain that's been coming down, you've been joining us, multiple times this week. Not completely unexpected. You've been following this. You've been forecasting it and everything like that. So has anything about the last 48 hours and the amount of rainfall we're getting, or that we may even get going into the weekend, does anything surprise you?
No, this thing's actually been going on pretty much as we were forecasting. The trickiest part is determining the exact time when these heavy showers will be passing over. And I've been getting a ton of phone calls and messages. How is the weather going to be tomorrow morning? How is the weather tomorrow evening at such and such time? And it's like, 12 hours out, that we just cannot say that because these things can develop and morph into something different in a period of 1 or 2 hours. So we've had a couple of nice mornings where it's been fairly dry. And then in a matter of hours, we have all these showers come in. And that's where we are this morning. I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I started looking at the radar. And it's like, wow, this band really filled in across the area. So we're looking tightly at Guam. Zooming out, things are starting to taper up across Guam. So right now it's just dripping out there across the island. But the heaviest showers are now to our east. And now they're inbound to Tinian and Saipan up there. That's where all the heavy showers and some isolated thunderstorms are, but farther to our west, there is a lot of action over there. Looking at our 1 hour rainfall totals, not that bad. So we're hovering at about 1/10 of an inch per hour across Guam. You're seeing those cores of blue. They are shrinking away as the rain tapers off across the island, with the heaviest stuff again to our east. And that's going to keep to our east. We're going to see that band set up to our east, and it's going to pretty much hold there. And then we'll probably see another cycle of showers and thunderstorms later today. It's just very, you have to watch it closely in the visible satellite and see where things are setting up outside of our radar range. So going to the satellite, this is what we're looking at, and that rain band that's set up overnight, that came over the island very broadly. We had showers and thunderstorms. It prompted a urban and small stream flash flood advisory for the island through 7:45 this morning. That has been allowed to cancel, and things are improving. Farther to our west, that's where the intense heavy showers and thunderstorms are located right now. And that's also associated with some very strong winds. So if this thing was located over Guam versus near 140 East, we wouldn't be looking at so much a nuisance like we had this morning. We'd be looking at a situation. Mm-hmm. We would be having flash flood problems, strong winds. We'd probably have minor damage, and a lot of people would be waking up to very noisy conditions outside. In Yap and Palau, look at that lightning down there. I'm going to taper off the satellite right quick so you can see it. A lot of lightning there in Palau. The remnant of and a number of other ships out there are in the harbor outside of Kuror, and they've been taking shelter from the southwest surging winds. So hopefully they're doing okay and not getting any strikes to their ships. But that's going to be the theme today with that heavy band of showers, thunderstorms, and winds. And there's another one setting up just north of it. It may not be quite as robust as it comes into the area. It may keep just to the north. But that's what they're dealing with. This is a very broad regional situation that we're working with. And this is what we're dealing with. It's a very large monsoonal circulation in the Philippine Sea. And inside of that broad circulation, we have a number of smaller circulations. And right now, it looks like things are starting to consolidate around two main circulations, 93W over here, 94W over there. Both of them are invest area by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, rated low for development. So tropical cyclone development is not expected in the next 24 hours, but there could be some development. Eventually, we're going to see things consolidate around both of those circulations and then possibly consolidate around one major circulation. All of this will start spinning up into one tropical cyclone, not so much a major storm or anything, but it's just going to be a cyclone. And this is very seasonal for this time of the year. This is what we see in October and November. And these things come in phases, and they can last anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks. And they typically generate several tropical cyclones. So here's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center map right there showing 93W and 94W. Both of them are west of the Mariana Islands and pose no direct threat to Guam. That is the good news. But looking at the polar orbiting winds, those strong winds just north of Palau generating the showers and thunderstorms, that has probably sunken southward over Palau this morning. But closer to us, we are right on the eastern edge of those stronger winds, 15 to 20 knot winds over the ocean. But here in that blank spot, let me go to the next frame. That's what we are missing out on this morning. Those are 25 to 30 knot sustained winds over the open waters. That's what's happened along the 140 east longitude to our west. And that's where the heaviest showers and thunderstorms are located right now. 94W is right about there, and that's going to be moving generally toward the west-northwest or the northwest and missing us pretty much completely. That's 93W. And generally, this whole broader circulation we're seeing spin around in this area, 93, 94, that's going to consolidate and move off to the northwest and no significant threat to us. So it's a very busy pattern. And this is what we were looking at for the last week. And we still have that potential for showers and thunderstorms and episodic periods over the next couple days. Once this thing moves off to the northwest, things will calm down as far as winds across Guam and the Mariana Islands. But the seas and surf will be gradually building. We could see hazardous surf along west-facing reefs on Sunday. We could also see a small threat of island convection with the lighter winds. So even though this will all move away, we're not out of the woods. We also still have a disturbed pattern setting up possibly to our east. Again, no imminent tropical cyclone threats for next week, but we could see some action farther to our east. So we'll talk about that more in depth on Monday as far as what we can expect to see by midweek. We could see another monsoon pattern set up right across Guam with some circulations and disturbances east of us and north of us. So a very busy pattern. Wet season is here. This is very much seasonal and to be expected this time of the year.
So again, nothing completely outside of what you've been expecting and everything. And, you started with that shot of that toad who's, having the time of his life, so for that member of the animal kingdom, this is a really, really good time. But with all the precipitation, roads being wet, places for our family and friends down in the south, possibly the constant threat of flooding and everything, maybe not so much for us and the human species. If you have to do work outside, if you were planning on mowing your lawn, and as you said, people who might be, whose livelihood might be going out on the water, mariners and everything like that, the next few days might be a little dicey.
Yeah, definitely keep a close watch on forecasts, not just for the weather potential, but the seas and surf. Again, we're going to be seeing a rising risk of rip currents, especially along south and west facing reefs, and that threat for hazardous surf. And that threat is already materialized in Yap and Palau, where they're seeing the hazardous seas and surf down there. So it's a busy period. Things can evolve quickly across the region of this type of pattern. So don't go away from our webpage for the latest forecasts, at least the next couple of weeks.
Yep. I follow your webpage, and I've got you as a friend on Facebook and everything. I greatly value both of them because they're a really, really good resource to have.
Likewise, it's great to have you help amplify our message to the community.
And just make a promise to me and Joser and Sabrina and Chris and all of our viewers on the lake. Next time you're able to actually do paddle boarding out in that little water divot you got there, take a couple selfies, man, because we'd love to have that on the show.
Absolutely. Maybe if we get a heavy rain on Saturday and I'm not here at the office, I might just do that. We'll see.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Monday then.
All right. Thanks, Jason.
All right, we appreciate it as always, man. Please be safe. Thank you. All right, now let's go back to Bree for more news.
And a quick update to Nestor's story regarding the new health complex and the governor's plans to build it in Manilao, according to GALC Director John Birch. Should the property be returned, public law mandates that GALC